Good morning. Hello, chat. Welcome to ILFS 2023. The day is finally here. It feels
Finally.
it feels like it's been 20 years and yet 5 minutes. Uh, especially when you're configuring things right before go live, right, John?
Yeah, there's nothing quite like the pre-show adrenaline when everything breaks 5 minutes before you're supposed to be live, but we got it handled. We're all right.
It's the best. I mean, if you're not in a panic. Oh, also, yeah, there's two things. If you're not in a dead panic, it doesn't count. And number two, it's not an official ILF event until a cat walks across somebody's desk. Right? Those
Oh
are
yeah, no, that'll happen. So I tentatively put mine out on the patio, but it's only a matter of time until they break out and then still bother me anyways. So
one. Yeah, if I'm gonna put odds on it, I think definitely the mental health panel. There's a really good chance that we
oh
that
yeah,
we that we see a
at
cat
least a couple.
at least.
But honestly, that's good anyways because there's nothing better for mental health than a cat.
Correct. So welcome everybody. My name is Nick Kelly. I am your MC for this event. You may know me as Rev3 Dude in some of the gaming communities, or Papa Wolf in the Geek Wolf Pack podcast. We also host an ADHD D&D podcast. So if you are interested in any of that fun stuff, you can quick plug geekwolfpacknetwork.com. Come find me. Come do some pop culture stuff with us. We are here. With me is John McCombs. John, you want to intro yourself?
Absolutely. So my name is John McCombs. I'm the event coordinator of the ILF. You may have seen me around on previous ILF fests or a number of other things. And we are very, very excited to be here. ILF Fest is always one of those things that we look forward to, and not just because it's fun, but it's fun for us as a team. It gives us something to kind of get together and do, especially when we deal with so much other stuff. So we're very excited to be here this morning.
I think we should probably throw out the caveat that we're the fast talkers. Not everybody all day is going to go this quick, but for some reason they decided right out of the gate, hey, let's get the two fastest talkers who've ever worked with the ILF and put them on. So, uh, so let's kick this thing off, right? I mean, we could sit here and chat all day, but we have a really, really packed agenda, which I'm going to get to in a minute. But first, let me ask you: this is not our first ILF Fest. This is our
It's our fourth.
fourth ILF Fest.
Yeah. So you'll see me. I'm repping the original hoodie from ILF Fest
Yeah.
2020. But as you can tell, it's quite faded. It's been a while. This is our fourth one, if you can believe it.
I'm rocking the moderator happy to help shirt. So
There you go.
that was a reputation we got when somebody thought we were all bots for
Yeah.
answering questions all the same way. So ILFS, this is our annual. Well, let's go with annual
Yep.
fundraising stream. 2023, we decided this one's going to have a different theme. So we've got a whole bunch of stuff going on. I'm going to actually walk through the agenda here real quick. Preview the schedule for you. We're doing a comic book theme to this event, near and dear to a bunch of our hearts. You can see I kind of redid my office wall here with a little bit of a little bit of a comic flair. But you're gonna put up with John and me for a couple minutes. We're just gonna talk to you about what ILF is, and intro what ILF Fest is specifically. We do have a purpose here. We are trying to do some fundraising, and John can talk to you succinctly about the mission because he's had to do it on camera. I've only ever had to do it on stream. Then we're gonna talk. We're gonna have a Levy, our artist, come on, and Levy is going to draw live on stream Raven from Teen Titans because you voted, and for some reason didn't pick Venom, which Levy draws teeth on everything. So I don't know what we did.
And okay, so like Venom's great and all, but I'm kind of with the community on this one. Growing up, Raven was always just, the best. I love Raven. So
I know Raven from the cartoon and roughly 75 million cosplayers because there's
yeah,
always a Raven.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So Levy's going to do that. Also, big shout out to Levy and to Ash for all the work that they've done to really help the schedule of this thing, the aesthetic of this thing. It's so beautiful. Like the ILF, look how pretty our colors are. Like, and I know that they love the blue. I will grab my blue hat before the day is over. I promise, Levy, if you're out there. After that, we're gonna have a little gaming segment. We played last night. It was a blast. So our buddy T Monster Twitch Dad is gonna come on, and Thermal Wolf, my kid, and they're gonna play some Gotham Knights, which is gonna be a blast because T had never played it before last night. So, but he fell in love.
It's
with
always
it.
the best when you throw somebody on camera and be like, do this thing you've never done before. Have fun.
Oh well, the fighting he's pretty good at, and the detective stuff he's pretty good at. Man, the Bat Cycle. Oh, it's just a disaster area. Anyways, so then we're gonna move on. We've got some special guests. We've got Aaron Maloney's gonna be here. Dr. Abby Moronio and Dr. Goku from Guardians MH, and they're gonna do a mental health breakdown of none other than Moon Knight, which to make that happen, we made Aaron and Dr. Ebby watch Moon Knight, which I didn't think was going to be a thing. But
You made them. I'm just getting this visual of them sitting in like a chair with their eyes open.
Clockwork
Like,
Orange.
You made them watch Moon Knight.
Yeah, Clockwork Orange. Then we're gonna show some videos, a little bit about the what the ILF is, some of the things to just for some resources and some education for parents and teachers and students, candidly, and kids. We're gonna have a brief Ask Me Anything with our founder and CEO, Chris Hadnagy, with Captain Hammer, our Chief Operating Officer, Shane McCombs, and then, John, you're going to come back for that one.
Sir.
And then I'm delighted to have some friends of mine who are actors who've played comic book characters. We have Joy Osmansky, who was on Stargirl, and she's the voice of Failsafe in the video game Destiny 2. She was on Santa Clarita Diet. She was in Duncanville. She's just done a ton of stuff. She's an absolute delight. You'll love her. Neil Hopkins, who was the crazy character on Lost, also Joy's husband on Stargirl. So he played Sportsmaster. If anybody hasn't watched the Stargirl series on CW, you're missing out. And then Daniel Ross is going to be with us. And Daniel is, in addition to voicing Hound and Starscream and Mixmaster on the Transformers video games, he's also currently the voice of Grimace and Donald Duck. So looking forward to that. And then we'll close shop up early, and then we'll kind of hang out. And I don't know what your night looks like after ILF Fest. I think my after party is going to involve a fire in the fireplace. And if my wife beats me to the remote control, probably Hallmark. So...
It is that time of year. I remember growing up, my mom would always watch three things. She would watch Little House on the Prairie. She would watch the 8-hour version of Pride and Prejudice, and then whatever garbage Hallmark movie was on. So you can imagine like my whole winter at home.
My brother got exposed to Hallmark last week. He'd never seen Hallmark movies before. He was in town. He was staying with my parents, and my mom put on a Hallmark movie, and he instantly started texting me. And of the many things he said, one of them was, "There's no dentist in any of these towns because everybody's teeth are perfect."
No, they are a special kind of bad. Like it's like watching B movies. It's a train wreck, but it also is kind of nice at the same time.
It's predictable. Actually, the thing that I love about it is that there's a lot of bleed over. We're way off topic. I'll get us back. There's a lot of bleed over between sci-fi actors, and then suddenly they show up in Hallmark movies.
Yeah. No, well, it's the same pool, right? It's the same pool of talent.
It is.
Yeah. There's so much bleed over.
Can we film this in 14, literally in 14 days? So like Luke McFarlane was, he was on Killjoys, and he's big burly dude. He's done 15 Hallmark movies. He's like, okay, well, I guess that's the, formula for success. There you go. Gen AI. There's your use for Gen AI moving forward as Hallmark movies.
So one of the one little anecdote, and then we'll get started on our official kickoff.
Yes.
But, so Greg Grunberg, who is a friend of the ILF, he performed at our gala for anyone that was there. Great guy. Also an actor. Many people know him from Heroes or Star Wars. But what's so funny is my dad and I know him from his much less popular work, Big Ass Spider. And we told him, like, dude, Big Ass Spider was our favorite thing we've ever seen you in. And he gave us the biggest bear hug. And he was so excited to hear that because he's like, I had more fun doing Big Ass Spider than anything else I've ever done in my entire life. So, like, there's just a special connection with objectively garbage films and having a lot of fun.
Shane, you let us start this thing. I just want to point this out. You let us off the leash to start the day, and this is what you're going to get.
It's what you're going to get.
It is what
But
you're
no, we will get started. So what is ILF Fest is the question. So for those of you that have been with us for now, 3 years, it's a variety stream, short and simple. We're going to have all kinds of cool content. We're going to have special guests. And it's going to be a lot of fun. But at its core, we are here to raise money for the mission. So if you type in !donate, $, you will get the donate link. And please stop trash talking my movie choices. Is what it is. That's my mother, everyone. The original Closet Girl. There's a story there. We may get into it later. We may not. But yeah, she's the Hallmark movie enthusiast. Yeah. So ILF Fest is to have some fun, but it's to raise money for charity. And the reality is we do this stream and we have a lot of fun because what we do is objectively horrific. Shane will tell you that we deal with the cesspool of humanity, and I think that's a very accurate description. At the ILF, our mission is to identify anonymous child predators online and work with law enforcement to help bring them to justice. So our vision is a world where all children can live innocent lives. And to that end, we have to do and deal with some pretty horrific things. So we have ILF Fest once a year to just have a good time and just to raise some money and bring awareness. So thank you all for being here with us. There's a trigger warning up at the beginning. I'll reiterate it here, and we will be saying it throughout. Some of the subjects will get into that realm of child abuse and child exploitation. So just be aware of that. If you need to step out at any time, feel free to do so and hop back in when you're ready. First of all, thank you, Tully, for gifting those subs. We got some subs rolling in here. And one thing we really want to touch upon that's very important, and we'll get into this a little more with our AMA later on, but that is our guiding principles. But we want to make sure that everyone here is familiar with the mission and know how we do things. And so we have 5 guiding principles. And when we say guiding principles, and we take them extremely seriously, we will not do anything unless it lines up with our guiding principles. That is how we are governed, and that's what keeps us on track, helps us avoid mission creep and other things. And those principles are, first and foremost, children are our beneficiaries. We need donors, and we love friends that help us raise money and raise awareness for the mission. But at the end of the day, we exist to serve at-risk children, endangered children. So when making any decision, policy, planning for the future, an event, anything, we ask ourselves, how will this impact the children which we're trying to help? That is number one all the time, first and foremost. Secondly, almost just as important, very, very closely connected, is never educate a predator. There's many success stories and accomplishments that we would love to share with the world, but the reality is we have to ask ourselves, if this information is published, will it make a predator harder to catch? That goes back to number one, children are beneficiaries. If we were to talk about this story, would it educate a predator and make them harder to catch in the future? So our goal is to get these guys behind bars, not to pat ourselves on the back. But third, we have to operate above reproach. And that could mean a lot of things to different people, but really what it means for us is we operate under extremely strict guidelines and regulations. We have monitored environments, and this framework is vital because if we deviate from any procedure, it could potentially let a predator walk free. So we need to make sure that whatever we're doing with our investigations, it is 100% legal, it is 100% above board, so we never have any issues with successful prosecution. And that goes hand in hand with number 4, which is no vigilantism. Now, a lot of people will ask us, oh, so do you talk to these guys? Are you like those YouTube videos where you run up and you video people and put a camera in their face and embarrass them? No, not at all. We recognize that those people have good intentions, but it is not effective. Right? Vigilantism often does more harm than good. It causes loopholes in prosecution. And if we're going to be very honest, I want you to think about this for a moment. If there's a predator who has access to a child that he is harming, and he has just been publicly shamed and embarrassed, and he's upset, he's frustrated, he's worked up, where do you think that energy is going to be directed when he gets home? So we never want to do anything that could potentially put a child more at risk. So absolutely no vigilantism whatsoever. And finally, something that sets us as very uniquely different is our 5th guiding principle, which is to protect the emotional health of the Innocent Lives Foundation. Our employees and our volunteers have to deal with a lot of horrific things. And so you're going to hear a lot more about this on our mental health panel, so I won't go into it too deeply, but we have an absolutely amazing director of wellness that takes care of each and every one of us, and her name is Erin Maloney. We look forward to hearing from her later. She's a wonderful, wonderful human. So that's kind of gives you a little bit of a background into who we are and what we do. And yeah, so we're here to raise some money. We're here to have some fun. So anything that you guys can do was deeply appreciated. And we're looking forward to having a great day.
So how can people help us out? How can they help the mission? How can they help fundraise? What are some ways that they can do that?
It's a great question. So for today, right, just type in !donate, $, and that'll take you to where you can donate and help out. But more broadly, right, in terms of awareness and things like that, if you go to our website, and maybe one of the mods could drop this link in the chat. And before I say it wrong, let me make sure it's correct. If you go to our website and go to get involved, you'll see a lot of different ways that you can do so. So on ILF, innocentLivesFoundation.org/get-involved, you'll see all kinds of stuff. So how you can volunteer, how you can join the Hero Program as Nick's beautiful mug there. It's for our wonderful monthly donors that help support us recurring. When we've got a bunch of other programs as well, like being an impact sponsor, demos for donations, and other things. So there's a plethora of ways you can get involved. So I'd encourage you, if you're interested in pushing the mission forward, please check out that website and please donate.
I'm just saying, be an excellent holiday present. Get a little ILF coffee mug for your eggnog or whatever warm drink of choice. Do you drink eggnog? Nobody drinks eggnog warm, right? Did I do it wrong?
I think you can drink eggnog warm. I just personally think eggnog is disgusting, which I know is a highly controversial opinion, but that's just, I don't know. I can't get behind it.
We've had a lot of controversial food and drink opinions over ILF Fest over the years. So this is just the latest hot take, if you will.
I don't even think it's a hot take. I mean, I need to know in chat, like, is eggnog good? Yes or no?
Oh boy. So I'm not modding, so I can't do a Twitch poll. I love Twitch polls. That Levy knows that about me. Like, that's one of my favorite things to put together. So talked about ways that we could help, talked about what the mission is, talked about the guiding principles. How do we measure success?
So that's a great question. And it's a tricky answer, if I'm being honest. Because ultimately, right, success is measured by how many children that we help, right? But in the real world, that's a very hard number to pinpoint. And so we have to use a little bit of a different metric. So the metric that we use to measure success is cases accepted by law enforcement. So I want to make it clear what that means when we say it. This is not that we have just reported an anonymous tip to law enforcement. No. When we have a case accepted by law enforcement, that means one of our law enforcement partners has taken a case that we have put together and said, this is good. We can work with this. This is actionable. Right? So when we get that confirmation, they take it from us. We have assurance that it has their attention. And that is what we mean when we have a case accepted by law enforcement, right? So we know that there's something being done. And the reason we use that metric is because the reality is that a predator can, on average, affect around 5 to 10 children. So when we report one predator, we could be affecting 5 to 10 children. But a serial predator, one of the really, really bad guys, can affect up to 400 children in their career as a predator. And so it's impossible to get an accurate gauge on how many children we have affected. But what I can tell you is that as of today, as of this morning, we have had 506 cases accepted by law enforcement in our 6-year lifetime. So we are very, very proud of that number and what we are doing.
Let me ask you a follow-up, going off script a little bit.
Sure.
Because children are the thing, right? I think everybody's heard me say, every meeting that we've had, right? Like, the mission is the mission, and no one person is the ILF. Is the work you just described, work in those cases, identifying those predators, cooperating with law enforcement, is that the totality of what we do in the ILF, or are there other things that we do around education and outreach?
Oh, that's a great question. So, no, it is not the totality of what we do. The Innocent Lives Foundation is, I don't want to say split, because we're a unified organization, but we have two sides. We have the predator identification team, or what we call the pit. People wanted to call it the mosh pit early on, but that's a whole different conversation. So we have the predator identification team. And then on the other side, we have our education and outreach team. And both are equally important because, of course, the primary mission is to identify predators. So the pit gets a lot of attention and praise. But education and outreach is how we educate people. It's how we educate parents, guardians, people with children in their care, educate them on how to look out for the warning signs, look out for the signs of a predator, look out for the signs of abuse. They get the word out about the Innocent Lives Foundation so that we can help work more cases. What we're doing right now wouldn't be possible without the education and outreach team, and it is vitally important. And so these two groups work together cyclically. And so it's one of those things that a lot of people want to volunteer for us, but they say, oh, I don't have the technical skills. That's okay. We need a lot of skills. We need blog writers. We need people that can get out there and talk about us publicly. We need streamers. We need all kinds of help in a variety of ways. So if you think that you have a skill that you can volunteer with, or even if you're just very passionate about the mission, talk to us and we'll see if there's a fit there.
Yeah, that's, and I'm glad you brought up Twitch, because one of the questions that we were talking about pre-show was like, where are the resources that we provide? And Aaron's one of them. But what are the resources that we provide for parents to help keep their kids safe, generally online, but also on platforms like Twitch or TikTok or some of those social platforms?
So we have a lot of safety guides that are specifically tailored, perhaps to like one device or another, blogs, videos, and you'll be seeing some of the videos throughout the day. As well as if you go on our website, you can request a speaker for your event. So for your conference or to come speak at your school or whatever it may be, we have a enormous amount of educational materials and guides to help kids, or help parents rather, keep their children safe.
Awesome. Yeah, that's good. I know that there've been a lot of engagements. I know Shane's been out on the speaking circuit. I know Aaron's done some stuff in in community. Speaking of Aaron, what do we do to protect the mental health of our volunteers and of the members in the pit, and also the employees of ILF?
So one of the things that's really interesting is we have our wellness program. And what that means is we have Erin Maloney, who is a certified therapist, and you are required to meet with her if you're a part of the ILF. This is not optional. The pit has to meet a little more frequently than education and outreach, but everyone, myself included, we have to meet with Erin and get just checked up on. And this isn't anything like scary. It's not like it's a whole like sit down. She's got a clipboard and she's making notes on like everything you're doing and saying. No, it's to make sure you're okay, because we have a lot of advanced tools that like blur tools and things like that help protect our investigators. But even the stuff that they even have to read is horrific. And so we have Erin there to make sure that you're taken care of. And if you need to take a break, you take a break. If you need to step back for a little bit, you step back a little bit. That's what she's there for, to be a resource, to make sure that you have the tools you need to be successful.
Yeah, I think not just we have to talk to Erin, but we get to talk to Erin.
Oh, yeah.
It's a subtle difference, but realistically, we all love her, despite the fact that in chat, Erin is singled out as the only person who is pro eggnog so far. So,
yeah, well, she's wrong. No, I love Erin today. No, and you're right. We do get to talk to Erin. Like Erin, we call her ILF mom. We also joke around that she's ILF HR, which is not true, by the way. But she is just the world's sweetest person. So I'm very excited to see her panel. And you can see the chat. Like everyone loves Erin, right?
Yes.
And so we're gonna have a good time, especially on the mental health panel. But no, she is a gem. Absolutely.
I love it. Okay, so I'm not sure which way you want to go with this, but it's going to go one of two ways. The first is let's recap how people can help out, or did you want to announce anything about April, or is that at the end? How did you want to do that?
We're going to hang off on April. We got some really exciting stuff. So all I'll say is this. I'll tease it a little bit.
Teaser.
I will say, please keep a close eye on our social media, because we're going to have a very exciting announcement in just a couple of weeks here on how you can get involved in a very fun way and have a once-in-a-lifetime experience in Kentucky, is all I will say.
Ah, So it's a good. It's like a 30-second teaser trailer. That's our Furiosa trailer right there. All right, so we've talked somewhat about the mission. We've talked about how we do what we do. We've talked about why we're here, which is ILF Fest, to have some fun. This is our palate cleanser in between all of the tough work that we have to do. We've talked about the guiding principles. We talked about the how we measure success. Mods, because mods are fantastic. They're killing it right now. Mods, can you put a link to our impact report? Because I think that's something we're working on for 2023, but the 2022 one has a lot of very detailed information about what we do, how successful we've been, our metrics for success, and then also covers some of the how we operate pieces that Shane can talk about, because he's our chief operating officer. So we'll make him do that during the Q&A and the ask me anything early this afternoon. Last thing I wanted to say is before I'll hand it back to you about how people can continue to get involved specifically today for ILF Fest, and then also in the future. We'll just recap that one more time. I will say, not only can you request a speaker, go to the resources. There's a ton of information in the blog. But if you are witnessing something actually happening, we do have the capability to report a case online. I went through the first time somebody in my very close social circle had to do that after being here for 4 years and change, and it's tough, but it's the information that we need. So if something is going on, let's make sure that we that we're a resource to help with that. So now let me flip it back to you one more time. Give you a chance to hype up what we're getting ready to do, about how to help out, and then I will once again just kind of recap very quickly the schedule without so many bios, just tell everybody what's going on. And the schedule is also up on the site that our moderators, our fantastic moderators, are putting up there. So the ILF Fest 2023 link that was up there, that tells us everybody that's coming on and what time. So if you have a favorite person, please shout it from the rooftops and get all your friends over here, and let's have a great day. But John, how else can people once again help us with the mission?
All right. So first of all, for today, in chat, !donate, $! Either one of those will give you the donate link. Now, I do want to say one thing real quick. I want to say thank you to our first donor. Don't know who they are because they were anonymous, but they donated $20. Now, I will say the pop-up did not seem to work. So I'm going to take a look on that when I hop off here on the back end. But be patient. We're going to be checking donations to make sure we acknowledge them, but it did not pop up there. So we'll figure out why. But I do want to say thank you very much to our first anonymous donor of $20. But moving on from that, so you can donate throughout the day. Please go to, and the mods have been dropping it in chat, innocentlives.org/get-involved. That'll let you know how you can get involved as a volunteer, help spread the word. And I do want to follow up on something Nick said. There is a report a case feature on our website. So if you have a tip, if you have something that you think is happening, whatever, please don't hesitate to submit it. Now and then we will absolutely review it and make sure if there's anything actionable in there that we can get involved with, we will do so. So do not be afraid to make use of that resource, because that's what it is. It is a resource to help us protect children. So do not be afraid to use it. And one last shout out. Nick is very humble. He already said thank you to Levy, to Cy, and to Ash for getting this thing rolling today. But this also would not be happening without Nick. So that was our dream team, those three right there. So Nick, thank you very much for everything you're doing. Thank you for getting us off to a great start. And I'll send it back to you to do another brief recap of the schedule and get it rolling.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it, everybody. I'm not here for me. My ego's big enough; it barely fits on the screen. Yeah, they block out Deadpool if you keep talking about me. But yeah, so welcome everybody. So once again, chat, thank you for being here. ILF Fest 2023. Super excited to be. I want to say pulling this off, but that makes it sound like we're flying blind, and we're not. We got to put a lot of work into this. And again, Cy, Ash, everybody, Cardell. We haven't thanked Cardell did yet. If we didn't, we'll do it again. John, thank you for helping me kick this thing off. It's a lot, but it's going to go by fast. So coming up next, we've got art with Levy Art Be Like over on Twitter, X, Musk, whatever it's called at this point. Going to be here on stream. You'll hear Cy, you'll hear Levy, same person, and they are going to be drawing Raven from Teen Titans because that's who won the poll. So we'll see. If you haven't seen Cy's art, you're first of all, you're missing out on life, but also it might be a little different take on what you're used to seeing. Coming up after that, we have one of our stream ambassadors, the T-Monster, Twitch Dad. He and Thermal Wolf are going to be playing Gotham Knights. It's the only vigilante thing of our non-vigilante day that we're doing.
It's comic books. It's fun, and I mean, there's an argument there that Batman did some stuff within the law on occasion.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think either of them are playing Red Hood. Red Hood's the super violent one. I think they're probably playing Robin and Nightwing, but we'll see how they do. Then we're gonna have a mental health panel. It's going to be Aaron, our great eggnog-loving wellness officer. Wrong. Yeah, Dr. Abby, and then Dr. Goku from Guardians MH. They're going to be here to talk about Moon Knight, which is going to be wild. And then we'll have a video presentation of some of what we do. Then we're going to make the folks in charge come on over. So Chris, Head Nagy, Shane, John, you're going to have to come back for that and keep those guys on the straight and narrow. Then I'm really excited. We're going to have an actors panel talk about comic books with Joy Osmansky, Neil Hopkins, and Daniel Ross. And then we'll have some closing statements and then go watch garbage Hallmark movies, according to you.
Yes, sir.
All right. So that's it for the opener here. I'm gonna put up a brief little intermission piece, but also pay attention because we're going to have some videos up there too that talk about some what is the ILF and some other things that we can do in terms of resources and education for folks. And then when we come back, it will be artwork from Levitan. So we will see you all in just a minute.